Thanks for joining us, and for welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're joining us for the first time. We have this moderated chat room each Thursday afternoon from 1 to 2, and look forward to the opportunities to share with you today on the topic of obstacles to interfaith dialogue, and other days on other topics with a wide variety of leaders of diverse religions. So, congratulations on joining us. I think the two main obstacles to interfaith dialogue that I've experienced are, first of all, that people think they have the answer, and there is one way. And if you feel like there's only one way for everybody in the world to get to know God, then you don't have patience or interest or commitment to interfaith dialogue, because interfaith dialogue assumes that we are respecting each other and that there are different paths, different ways of knowing God, different ways of understanding God's will for our lives, different ways for exploring together what God wants us to do as God's children. So I think the second major obstacle is that we aren't interested to be engaged in interfaith dialogue. We're complacent about our religious traditions, or we are full of other things, or for whatever reasons, we're not interested in engaging with other people and learning what makes them tick, what gets them up in the morning, what helps them be engaged in the world in ways that we find fascinating. So those two things, I believe, are the primary obstacles to interfaith dialogue. And I'm sure there's others, and I look forward to the conversation we have after this opening video to encourage the exploration of your ideas on this. And I can say that in my 32 years of helping lead the Interfaith Conference, that I have personally experienced people of many different faith communities who think that their way is the one right way. This is not just an issue for one tradition or another tradition. And so that is an across-the-board issue that challenges our faith communities and that requires intra-faith dialogue as well as interfaith dialogue. And we are working on the fifth supplement to our Teaching About Religion book, which will focus on scriptures. And we want to know what are the scriptures that we may already have heard about that are so often used to support interreligious collaboration and dialogue, as well as what are the scriptures that are often pushed in our faces or pushed in someone else's faces, the reasons that we know that this religion is not true, or we know that this religion promotes violence, or we know that this religion does this or that. So with limited commentary, with focus on respected translations, legitimate translations of those passages, we want to explore those issues. And I believe that'll be a major contribution to the dialogue that we are encouraging happen in many ways through the Interfaith Conference. Those within a given tradition need to know that others in that tradition support their interfaith work, and these are passages that may help you do that, whether they be passages that may be considered to be pro or positive interfaith collaboration and understanding, or passages that are not. So the interfaith dialogue is an essential element of our respecting each other, of our collaborating with each other, of our working together across lines of faith and race and culture and nationality. And the opportunities for doing so are certainly there in our daily lives. We live next to, work with, go to school with peoples of different nationalities or different faiths. I've often asked groups that I speak with, how many of you ate something in the last 2 weeks that your grandparents didn't even know about? Most hands go up. Why is that? Well, it's obvious. We're living in a very diverse time, but we're also living in the most diverse country in the world. And we do have those opportunities that our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents did not have. And so the opportunities to participate in interfaith dialogue are there in formal and very informal ways. We may be asking a neighbor, why are you fasting during the day? Or why are you fasting for 24 hours? Or and then hopefully in the conversation you're asked also, well, do you ever fast? And what makes you do that? And sharing out of that tradition. Or what is the impact of your religion on your daily life? Or I just read in the paper that this is a holy day in your tradition, so tell me about what that means to you. And I recognize you might be a practicer of that tradition. You might not practice it actively. You might be observant. You might not be observant. But what does it mean to you, or what does it mean to people who are observant in your tradition? So we have lots of opportunities for interfaith dialogue, and we'll run across people who represent those obstacles that I've mentioned and others that I'm sure you can think of or have experienced yourself. The obstacles of people who know they're right or who know there's only one right way to do things, and the obstacles of those who don't care, who don't have enough energy or interest in engaging people of other faiths in this way. So I look forward to our conversation together and to the ways in which we can collaborate in the future, both through our moderated chat rooms and through our website, www.ifcmw.org, Interfaith Conference Metro Washington.org, ifcmw.org, or in lots of other ways. Thank you very much for the privilege of this time of sharing and for the conversation that will continue.